You know that feeling when you're staring at a massive wall of smart home gadgets and you just feel completely paralyzed by all the choices? Yeah? You are definitely not alone. Basically, anyone starting a home renovation or just looking to upgrade their place faces this one massive question. Which smart home brand should you actually choose? It's a huge decision, honestly, because picking the wrong one can lead to just endless tech headaches, horrible design clashes, and a lot of wasted money. But don't worry, you are in exactly the right place to figure this out.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, our goal is simple, but it is incredibly important. We are demystifying the super crowded, often totally confusing smart home market to find the perfect fit for your specific needs. Think of this as your guided ecosystem tour. We're going to break down the key manufacturers, separate the genuinely useful tech from the cheap gimmicks, and help you map out a strategy that actually works for both your budget and your home's aesthetic.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, the basic level with Yandex and Spare. Second, the budget segment and DIY. Third, wireless retrofits. Fourth, premium design and light. And finally, uniting systems with SprutHub. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The entry level, focusing on Yandex and Spare.
Let's kick things off with Yandex, which is usually how people get introduced to the smart home world in the first place. The absolute best thing about their ecosystem is just the sheer simplicity of it all. I mean, connecting a bulb or a sensor is literally as easy as pairing AirPods to your phone. It's incredibly intuitive. Plus, they utilize Zigbee protocols for local offline operation. That's a big deal because it means your smart home won't suddenly just completely break if your internet provider goes down. But, well, here's the catch: interior design. Their hardware is this very basic white industrial plastic that is going to stick out like a sore thumb in a high-end custom-colored renovation.
And that brings us to Stober. Stober offers a really similar, super accessible entry path into smart homes. But they did something incredibly clever to solve that exact design problem we just talked about. They partnered up with a well-known electrical brand called System Electric, specifically focusing on their Atlas Smart line. What this means for you is that you can get standard, highly recognizable, and really aesthetic switch designs that perfectly match all the normal dumb outlets in the rest of your house. And the best part? It secretly houses Stober's smart technology right inside. Moving right along to Section 2, the budget segment and DIY, looking at Tuya, Moz, and Sonoff. All right, welcome to the highly variable, totally budget-friendly Wild West of smart homes. Now, before we go any further, we really need to clear up a massive misconception that trips up so many beginners. Tuya is not actually a manufacturer of the final physical smart devices you hold in your hand. They're not. They are a provider of smart chips and software licenses. So if some random factory wants to make a smart kettle, they just buy a chip and a license from Tuya, slap it inside their kettle, and boom, it magically connects to the Tuya app.
So, because literally anyone can use a Tuya chip, you really have to balance this incredible variety against some very real risks. You might find a smart relay for the price of a bottle of water, or even completely bizarre gadgets, like there's actually a robotic finger out there that physically presses normal buttons for you. But because Tuya doesn't control the final hardware, those internal components can be terribly cheap. Plus, these budget devices often rely heavily on cloud servers located all the way in China. That is a massive risk for lag or just complete failure if those connections are ever blocked or disrupted.
Within this budget space, though, a few brands have definitely risen to the top. Take Moz, for example. They're essentially a slightly more premium take on Tuya technology. They actually seem to care a bit about industrial design and component quality, which makes them a much safer bet. Then you have Sonoff, which is the absolute darling of the DIY community. I mean, tinkerers who love to save money and really get under the hood of their smart home systems just absolutely swear by Sonoff. Just, don't expect them to win any interior design awards anytime soon. Next up, Section 3, Wireless Solutions Without Chasing, featuring High-Tech Pro.
So what happens if your renovation is already totally finished, or maybe you're renting, and you absolutely cannot start tearing up the walls to run new electrical cables? Well, High-Tech Pro operates on a completely different philosophy to solve this exact massive headache. Instead of using standard Wi-Fi or Zigbee, they actually use a dedicated radio channel, the RF868 protocol. The huge advantage here is that their wall switches are completely battery-powered and entirely wireless. No wall chasing, zero drilling, no dust. You literally just stick them onto the wall wherever you want them. You just wire their controller at the main power source and you are good to go.
But come on, you knew there had to be a catch, right? The trade-off here is what we call dumb lighting. See, because a wireless relay physically cuts the power to the light bulb to turn it off, that bulb completely loses its connection to the smart network.
What this means in practice is that you absolutely cannot use advanced features like smooth biodynamic lighting or those cool circadian rhythms that shift from a crisp, cool white in the morning to a warm amber at night. If you just want your lights to turn on and off using a voice assistant, it's brilliant. But if you want professional, color-changing smart light, yeah, this one isn't for you.
Let's step it up a notch. Section 4, Premium Design and Light, covering Aqara, Xiaomi, and Yeelight Pro.
So, stepping up to high-end, from-scratch renovations, there's a phrase you'll hear thrown around pretty often. Aqara is the iPhone of the smart home, and honestly, it's incredibly accurate. Aqara offers this gorgeous, minimalist industrial design that professional interior designers actually love working with. They are right at the cutting edge of tech too, robustly integrating the brand new Matter standard alongside their local Zigbee protocols. They even make these heavy-duty outdoor smart cameras that are tough enough to survive a brutal freezing winter without skipping a single beat. It is absolutely the gold standard if you want a premium feel.
We also definitely have to mention Xiaomi. They are a foundational brand in this smart space. They actually helped launch a lot of other brands we talk about, including Aqara and Yeelight. However, for a fully cohesive, built-in smart home today, they aren't always the go-to main hub anymore. That said, they are absolutely unbeatable when it comes to top value on standalone home appliances. We're talking smart vacuums, air purifiers, and high-performance routers.
Now, take a look at this comparison. When you put Yeelight Pro up against budget systems, the technical superiority in lighting is just glaringly obvious. Yeelight Pro uses a local BLE mesh protocol that stays incredibly stable even if you have like 70 different spotlights wired up in your apartment. But the real game changer here is the dimming. While budget systems dim in these clunky 1 to 5% chunks, Yeelight Pro dims in hyper-smooth 0.1% increments. This allows for flawless simulations of a morning sunrise or even fully synchronized thunderstorm effects. It is true, professional-grade lighting.
But impartially speaking, we really have to look at the massive blind spot for Yeelight Pro. While they offer absolutely perfect, premium lighting, they do not manufacture matching wall sockets, and this creates a giant headache. Because when your interior designer wants to place a smart light switch right next to a standard power outlet in the bedroom, they won't match. And if you're doing a high-end renovation, mismatched plastics right next to each other on the wall is pretty much a total deal-breaker.
Which brings us to the climax of this explainer. Section 5, Uniting Systems with SprutHub. So how exactly do we solve this ultimate brand mismatch problem? Say you want the gorgeous Aqara switches, the totally unmatched Yeelight Pro lighting, and you still need matching wall sockets, but none of these brands naturally speak to each other. Well, here is your strategy for complex, premium homes laid out in 3 easy steps. Step 1, you pick your visible hardware, like Aqara switches or System Electric sockets, purely for their aesthetic design. Step 2, you pick your lighting hardware, like Yeelight Pro, purely for its professional performance. And Step 3, you unite everything locally using a little device called SprutHub. It's essentially a universal, offline hub that acts as a master translator. It seamlessly connects the Aqara switches, the Yeelight bulbs, and the System Electric sockets into one totally unified local ecosystem. So when you press that Aqara switch, SprutHub instantly tells the Yeelight bulb to turn on, and it does it all without ever needing to bounce a signal to some cloud server on the other side of the world.
So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final thought. Building a smart home is ultimately a massive balancing act. Are you a tinkerer who is perfectly happy saving a ton of money with budget DIY gear, even if it means sacrificing some reliability and aesthetic flair? Or are you investing in a long-term premium renovation where beautiful design, localized offline hubs like SprutHub, and flawless 0.1% dimming are totally worth the extra upfront cost? Weigh your budget against your design desires, plan your ecosystem carefully using the steps we covered today, and you will be well on your way to an absolutely incredible smart home. Thank you so much for learning with us today.